What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, you know, sports is the new distraction tactic by the media. In our culture, sports used to be a pastime for, when we want to wind down, relax, and get our minds off of the more important issues of the day. Sports has now become big business. Sports has moved from being a pastime to occupying at times a majority of our day as far as what life revolves around. Now, I know this might come a little bit hypocritical coming from me because I talk about sports a lot. Um, but in actuality, I don't really spend that much time thinking about sports. I tend to think about things that are going on in our community. Unfortunately, when you talk about things that are going on in your community, your audience tends to dwindle. So you have to play a balancing act of sneaking in important topics, talking about sports. But I blame our culture, our society for this. But anyway, I've talked about on this channel about the plot perpetuated mostly by Democrats to funnel in immigrants, illegal immigrants, I should say, into this country, basically for votes, and to continue, or I should say, to improve their chances at an ongoing democratic monopoly. You see, this is the thing. Well, you know what? I'll get to that in a moment. They talk about how it's for to give people a chance at the American dream and a new way of life and all this crap, but it's BS. In reality, this is about votes and it's about power, and that's all they care about. And Nancy Pelosi confirmed what we've been talking about. I mean, I already had the warnings that me and others been putting out about how these illegal immigrants are basically terrorizing mostly black citizens in these so-called safe haven cities. We had that confirmed about with the Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment complex in not Asp, where is it? Uh, where is that city called? Aurora, Colorado. We talked about that. Nancy Pelosi was on Bill Maher's show Real Time recently, and she confirmed that yes, the Democratic Party's policy on illegal immigration is to encourage it and have them, quote unquote, live the American dream. So if California just passed a bill where she's from, where they're going to give illegals $150,000 free, free to help them purchase homes and quote unquote live the American dream. This is her talking about it on Bill Maher.
Giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, it's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people.
This is the thing. If there was a such thing as YouTube 20 years ago, I've been getting on the Republicans because it's always about votes. Because remember, in 2000, when Bush ran against Gore, George Bush got about 31% of the Latino vote. Now, I'm not trying to equate Latinos with immigration, but the vast majority of them tend to be of that ethnicity from south of the border. Bush went from 31% Latino vote, or Hispanic vote, I should say. That's a better term to use. Hispanic vote in 2000 to 44% in 2004. Then all of a sudden, the Bush administration began to change their policy on illegal immigration, becoming more understanding and more accepting and pro-immigration, right? Pro-immigration, not necessarily legal immigration, although they probably looked the other way with it, and I gave them flack about it, but there was no such thing as YouTube back then. But then the tide began to reverse. Obama got 67% of the Hispanic vote in 2008. then 71%. Hillary Clinton got a substantial portion. Biden got a large portion, but the numbers are tending to dwindle a little bit. But still a huge margin in that vote, and that's what's swaying the Democrats. But see, the thing about it is, yeah, it is true. Immigration has always been a bipartisan issue, but not illegal immigration. The Democrats are the Biden administration and the Democratic Party. While everybody has been talking about Project 225, they got their own project going on, which is their strategy to stay in power. And that is to allow people who don't belong here, by the way, because they didn't go through the proper channels to secure legal occupancy in this country the way that they're supposed to go through. And they're leapfrogging Black Americans. We can't get loans. We always get denied loans. You know what I'm saying? When we try to apply for a home, or when we try to save up money to buy homes, oftentimes we're rejected for bullshit reasons. And some of us simply just can't afford it. We can't afford it. Here, the government's giving away the equivalency of some people's paychecks for 2 years. Free. Meanwhile, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it was San Francisco, or it was in San Francisco, Oakland, where they were thinking about issuing reparations for the citizens. I think it was in San Francisco. That was blocked recently. That was blocked. And I think it was the group who helped to block it, or the group that represents some of these people that's coming in over here. So I'm floored. This is taxpayer money, okay? This is your money. This is my money being spent by the government to give people who don't belong here a leg up. So what's going to basically happen is about 15 to 20 years, in a couple generations, these people that are coming in here, they're going to move into they're going to get into a socio-economic situation where they're probably on equal footing, if not a little bit above, many white people. So Black people, us, we're going to be even lower on the totem pole. Even lower. I don't, at this point, man, I'm seeing people still trying to make excuses. Oh, well, I mean, why do you care? Does it affect you? Yeah, it fucking care. It affects me because we pay taxes to this motherfucker. And my tax dollars being used to give people who don't belong here. What is wrong with you? You got these dudes on here capping for the Democratic Party too. Capping, completely ignoring this, completely ignoring what's going on with the gang in Aurora, Colorado, completely ignoring all the other reports of crimes being committed against people in these look like us mostly in these safe haven cities in New York City and Chicago, all because they want, you know, a power flex or a narcissistic trip. Oh, somebody that looked like me is in the White House. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. Don't want nothing for my vote though. I don't want to hear anybody, you know what, man? I'm starting to get tired of hearing people complain about racism, complain about the system, complain about, you know, being disenfranchised by the system and all this. All these people going around complaining so much about how much they're victims. But you enjoy being a victim. The Democratic Party knows you're a victim. You got a victim mentality. And they continue to do it. They continue to victimize you. And instead of, and you got guys, these guys got such Stockholm syndrome that they don't address their grievances with the oppressor. They defend their oppressor. Our Black leaders, Booker T. Washington, Malcolm X, Dr. King wised up after 65, W.E.B. Du Bois, all of our Black leaders, Marcus Garvey, they never adhered to voting for one party over the other. They never adhered to that. They were always skeptical of both parties. They never advocated voting for one party over the other. Their primary interest was for the advancement of their people. Whether you agree with their philosophy or not, all of them had one thing in common, and that was the advancement of their people. People first, party much later down the line. These dummies are such loyal foot soldiers. No, that's not even the right word. They're such loyal guard dogs for the Democratic Party. Democrat. Say something about the party and see what happens. It's crazy to me, man. You got dudes on here that defend Kamala Harris like that's their sister. Like that's sister girl right there. But Angel Reese, she getting now I know I'm saying sports ain't all that important, but I'm constantly seeing Angel Reese get the business, and it's just crickets. The power of the Democrat power, the power of the Democrats. Well, I should say the power of the Democrats over the Democrats. And no, not a Republican. That's the go-to move right there. Oh, well, you must be a Republican. No, you narrow-minded nitwit. People can have a choice over voting for Republican or Democrat, and that's to not vote at all or vote third party and sit it out. There's no law that says I have to vote for one or the other. That's the freedom of living in a supposedly democratic society, But when you really look at it, the Democratic Party kind of act like they kind of. I hate to say this, man, but it's true. The Democratic Party kind of acts like the Communist Party at this point, man. Do as we say, or else. One party, one rule. Class warfare. I don't know, man. A lot of Democrats are anti-capitalist. I don't know. But yeah, getting back on point though. This is BS right here, man. This is BS. So basically, they're giving reconstruction, which was supposed to happen to us after the Civil War, is being given to people who have not been oppressed by any of it. There's no grievances from the United States government for these people. How they've been oppressed? You got Tulsa massacre survivors who are barely hanging on. A handful of Rosewood survivors from the 20s, barely hanging on, 105, 106 years old. And the government barely, the government ain't even really addressing that. Look, you can get these people in the few months they got left living, I guess. These people like well over 100 years old, hanging on. Maybe like 5 people tops. The government, state government, federal government, they can't even issue these people a $10,000 check, a $50. That's not going to do anything for the government, but they can give these people collectively hundreds of millions of dollars of your hard-earned tax money. Nobody cares. But give a Rosewood or Tulsa survivor who's 108 years old, barely hanging on, swaying like Adam and Barbara on their table in the seance in Beetlejuice. Let them get a check for $150,000 and all hell gonna break loose. Oh, give them those old niggers my money. It's my hard-earned money. They're our welfare. It's just crazy, man. That's all I got to say about it. It's ridiculous, man. Wake up.